Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Hi, everyone. Today's Friday, December the 5th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. My name is Anne-Marie Band. Charts by the amazing Trend Spider and Gamma Flows from our favorite Mentor Q. Taking a look at the price action space, what we are seeing is a breakout to the north. Here's the next area that they're after at 6,900. Listen, we've talked about it all week. Dips are buys every single time. It looks like death, and they come in and buy. It's the same thing. Now, we've got a little bit of a wedge. So that one's pretty interesting. And my seasonality data says that we've got something a little bit wonky going on next week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped into the box again and then move forward. Next week, as many of you know, I'm headed to Japan. We will have a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning session, and then I will be out of pocket until the following Monday, right? Because I am positive I'm going to have some sort of manic jet lag and the like. And I'm planning a trip to the Tokyo Stock Exchange, and so I'm super excited about that. Going to do a video there for us. I think it'll be great fun. Yeah, so more on that later. But here we go. Staring down the E-mini S&P, we have a gamma wall that we had breached pre-market. That number is 68.75. We are at 68.80. Remember that line I talked about yesterday at 68.70? We breached it intraday yesterday morning and then pulled back only to hold above it in the overnight. Now the next flow is value area high and the entrance to this very high box. Notice how red it is. The darker the red, the more time they spend there. So this is definitely an inventory box. Notice the top of it is gamma level 3. That's 69.10. We're very likely to see that in the coming weeks, particularly as we head into the end of the month. Okay, so what are we staring down? Put support for the 0 DTEs. Whoa, the put floor has been risen. Very interesting, friends. Very interesting. The floor, which has been at 6,500 for weeks, right? Been about 2 weeks. They just raised it. So 6,800, everybody's in the buy zone event. Everybody is. Now, what do they want to do? Remember, buyers of the indices or sellers, traders particularly, need to look at these flow walls because they tell us what the traders are going to try and do with price. And I think they want to shove it below this 68.75. That being said, the high value node at 68.50 gives us a really pretty line. It's actually a little bit below that, 68.45, but it gives us a really nice line to buy. Also, we have the anchored VWAP from yesterday, that's 68.60. Wait for the dip and then strike. All right, if you can't wait for the dip or you don't want to wait for the dip, the question then becomes, how do you want to play it intraday? So let's zoom in and let me take the heat map off so we can see some of these lines a little bit more clearly. Here's what we're staring down. Overnight inventory is very long, right? Spike up into that 68.80. Wow, that's really long. We are in an expansion event from yesterday. This was yesterday's high. Also a gamma line, right? Taking a look at this gamma line at 68.80. What are the traders positioned for? Well, trend is up. Momentum is failing, but that's mean reversion, right? It's coming into the trendline event and breaking to the north. Let's put a box around our 30 minutes of motion. Actually, no. Let's draw Fibonacci. Let's do an expansion. All right, that's all the way up here. Here's our first line, and the inventory event, it's really messy, right? This is why so many of us are having trouble, because the price action is absolutely horrific. Let's use an hourly chart, see if we see something better. Let's remove this and let's use the first hour of price action. See if it gives us a little bit more maneuverability. Right? I actually even think it's the first 2 hours. Why? Because this is a resistance zone and they breach it, right? Yes, that's what we're looking at. The first 2 hours give us our traction events simply because they mesh. Come on, Fred. They mesh with what's going on in the prior day. You can see this, right? This is the inventory accumulation, the breakout of the box. The return to 68.70 is going to give us our first buy line. And then the 50%, if it holds the 50% range at 68.66, we've got more upside. Look at what's happened every single day this week. Savage fade only to bounce. Savage fade only to bounce. Savage fade only to bounce. Big bounce, savage fade only to bounce. They are buying the dips. Be careful selling the floor of these things because you think the market is going to rotate down. It is simply not the environment for that. Also, be careful buying the tops of these candlesticks simply because everything is retracing. Look at these candles. This is an absolutely disgusting price action, right? So you have to be careful, but look at what we've done. It's literally 1-to-1. So let's double it again. Move it up here. That's 68.94, 68.95. Let's clone it again and move it down here. See where it's going to come. Anchored VWAP from Wednesday and the trend line event, 68.50, right? Ideally, that's what we would like to see, a rotation down into these levels to hold. But the point of control is 68.41. Hourly chart shows momentum still on the rise. Look at the inventory, right? There's a smaller box in here holding the edge of the VWAP heading to the top. So if you said, hey, I'm buying the VWAP, it's upward, right? Your target should be up around here, 68.84. If you hold, look what's been happening every single time you try to hold for the breakout. It's not happening. All right, this is grinding motion that is present from intraday volatility. You want to be very careful. But, my friends, my dear trading buddies, this is upward rotation. Clear flag pattern. Let's take a look at the NQ first. 4-hour heat map. Breaking over the top of the range, right? Heavy congestion. Look at how much congestion over the last 2 days, right? This is a big floor of support being built for the traders, and they are trying to break above it. Look at the call wall, 25,700. They have breached it. The put wall, 25,000, what's that, 400? Yes, 25,400. They want to get in between these two lines, right? So could they push up and then pull back down? Yes, absolutely. Value area high for this one, 25,800. Value area low, very far below. Dips or buys. We've got the same flag pattern. Let's see if we can make a flag out of this. Ta-da! Right? Big flag pattern. Just staring us in the face for this upward motion. All kinds of inventory accumulation here. We can see the floor of support. Old resistance, new support, 25,500. That's also a prior gamma line that used to be the call wall. It's now become gamma level 1. So let's go to our 30-minute chart. see what's going on. Mean reversion from a momentum perspective. We've got this box that we drew from yesterday. Nice. Okay, let me just expand this because I think we are on the right track. Gamma level 4 is about the halfway mark, right? Remember, 50%. If it doesn't hold, it rotates back down. And, you know, people are calling this candle range theory or something. Just everybody wants a fancy word for something so they can sell you something. I don't mean to sound like that. That sounds terrible. If somebody wants to do that, that's perfectly fine. What I'm telling you is candles do candle things. And what that means is they reverse, they rotate, they move inside of each other, but that 50% marker is something really pretty important. So what I like now, you know what? This box is going. I don't want this box anymore. I'll remove. However, the value area high on this 30-minute chart, pretty important. Overnight inventory, very long. It should correct, right? We do want some inventory correction. They want to get below the call wall. Would I be surprised if we came back into, man, these charts are a mess, 25,600 and then tried to bounce? There's a lot of inventory being built here. You can see the big red box, right? A ton of inventory being corrected there, or collected, excuse me. So let's go to the 1 hour chart. We're going to do things uniform. Wait, what? Yep, perfect. Okay, so let's take a look at what the traders have been doing. I use the 2 hour box on the ES, but it doesn't look like that's what's going on in the NQ. The box appears to be this entire range of motion. So let's use that and let's clone it. Oh, for heaven's sakes, Fred. Let's clone it again. And then let's clone it below. Right? Looks like this is what we're staring down. Gamma level 1, 25,500. We talked about that before. Point of control, 25,600. What do the traders want to do? They want us to get back in this box. So if we can come in and try to dance around this big mess, heavens, I would say Gamma level 3, 25,600, probably the better bet. You might say, well, gosh, Emery, can I just go short? You could, but you've got trend and momentum against you. So you can do that if you want. I'm not going to do that without cause. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I see that's a big trade. What can I do for a little trade? Listen, inventory is building right here. We got 5 hours of inventory right here. You buy the bottom here, 708. Your stop is 650, 690, right? And your target is 740. Trade the box. Look for where they're gathering inventory. If it breaks, get out, because they're either liquidating that inventory or doing something that you don't want to be part of. Take the paper cut and then try it again and trade in the direction of trend. Okay, all of this is range expansion. What is my thought? If they break 705, they are going to correct inventory, and that's going to give us 75 points to the south. Let's take a look at micro Bitcoin. First, let's go to the 4 hour heat map. All right, whoa, I got some drawings all over here, don't I? All right, so what do we see? Inventory, right? Inventory collection. Oh, please, let it hold 90,000. Yeah, so that's what the Bitcoiners want to do. Listen, I'm not trying to razz on anybody. Anyways, so we do have digital currency coming. That's a plain fact. How it's going to manifest itself remains to be seen. Not really sure Bitcoin is the guy, but we'll see, right? So what does that give us? A fade to 89,000. That's old resistance. old support, could be new support. But if it loses that 89,000, friends, we're headed lower, back to 81. Do I think this is a big flag pattern to the south? I do. I think this is a bear flag. But I'm not married to that. And so my thoughts are going to be, let's see how it holds 91. Right now, it's in a pretty no-fly zone for me. Sunday night, we'll see what's going on. I might take a trade off of whatever edge it's sitting on in general. All right, so for Bitcoin, we have support all the way down at 81,500. We have a deep pocket that's higher at 85,000. That inventory event looks pretty solid. And now it's building inventory in this sideways pocket. I would use some of these gamma lines to trade. Watch for the 89,400 to 90,000. Call wall, 95,000. Where is the put wall? I think the put wall. Oh, friends, have a gander. The put wall has been sitting up at 100,000 for a bit. It's moved down into the 0 DTE. Take a look. The put support, the high value, level, the 0 DTE put wall, all of it sitting right here at 92,000. What do they want to do? They want to keep it, but look at how small this edge is. 93,000 for the call wall, 92,000 for the put wall. There's $1,000 separating the buyers from the sellers. And the only way they both make money is inside of this pocket. So somebody's likely to lose. Bounces here are sell zones until and unless we breach 94,000 and retest. Not sure if that's going to happen today. Fades, deep fades, going to find buyers because liquidity is also moving back into the market. Let's take a look at crude oil. Whoa. Let's take a look at 4-hour heat map here for oil. This is WTI, West Texas Intermediate, building a very big sideways pocket. We had a range break. Here's trend, right? Trend is above us. It's still downward. We topped off at the call wall, which was 60. Great sell zone. Amazing sell zone. And now we are floating through the edges, very likely to come in to 59 and then hold, right? I don't have any idea what is going on in the oil event, but there are going to be a lot of people going out of business for a while if oil continues to fade. It just is what it is. Let's take a look at what the levels are. We got 60 above us as the call wall. We have 58 below us as the put wall. We're sitting right on top of gamma level 1 with our VWAP. Let's take the heat map off so we can see what's going on there. And let's go to the 30-minute chart. Inventory is a little bit short. Look at the build and the wicks. See, this is tough trading, folks. This is very tough trading. These candlestick formations are difficult. 1-hour frameworks, that looks like what we are working through, but holy smokes, very, very ugly. What is this? Okay, my last wave. Oh, this is a fairly good wave. I think it deserves to be this wave, however, and that gives us a 50% range right at around 59. So I would suspect that would be where, heavens, that would be where the buy would be, I would think. Somewhere around 59. Deep dips or buys, it's obviously in some kind of flag, right? This looks like a flag. Higher highs, higher lows. And what they're going to try and do is keep it in here, is my thought. It's going to be more sideways, so any deep dips are buy zones, right? Remember, we are moving into a space and time in the market where liquidity flows are lifting. That's going to bring just about everything up in general. All right, let's finally take, oh no, not finally. Let's take a look at gold next. Gold is doing, what I thought it would be doing, so I'm happy about that. It's building an inventory box, right? Value area high in gold, 4261. The call wall is 4300. The put wall for 0 DTEs is 4220. The put wall, the big put wall, is 4200. Nice clean area for the option traders to be trading in between, selling the call and selling the put. Where is current resistance right now? It is up at 4264. A breach of that zone, see how it's been accumulating here on this 4 hour. A breach of that zone could take us into the anchored VWAP above this anchored VWAP of Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, last Friday. That's 4276. Support floors, 4200. Just wait for the dip and then, walk it up. It's in mean reversion right now, but it still looks pretty good, right? Look at all the volume accumulating in this pocket right here. It's holding its trend line from underneath, breaking its trend line from above. So clear flag pattern here, right? Dips or buys. Dips or buys. And look at what they're doing. Old resistance, building a new floor for accumulation. Let's use the old resistance line, building the floor. There we go. So above 4262, we've got ourselves all the way up to 4273, 76, and then the call wall above at 4300. Yeah, that's an interesting looking chart. All right, let's finally get to SPY. All right. We're above the call wall for the 0 DTEs. I'm drinking my coffee, and I always regret beginning the video when I still have half a cup because it's ice cold when I'm done. Well, not really, but I like things to burn the tongue off of my... I like very, very hot things. Okay, so we're sitting here up at gamma level 3, that's 686. Notice the wall is at 690. This, friends, looks like a breakaway to me, right? Big wall, a big wall of inventory in a breakaway spot. That takes us up to 690. And then if we clone it again, let's see how many days it'll keep us in this framework. Come on. $693, right? A few people that I was listening to yesterday were saying, hey, listen, I think the top is going to be 690 or something. So that kind of sucked because I have a 700 butterfly up there. But this looks like a breakout to me, right? So what are we going to do? Dips or buys? Yeah, they are. Dips or buys. Holding the floor of the support. But notice how deep the pullbacks are. Step out of the way. The second it starts falling, if you're looking for the long, step out of the way and look to the left. That's how you're going to find where it is that your price action is going to take you. Okay, 0 DT put support at 678. That stayed there. There's a high volume node at 680. It's also value area low. And value area high, we are above it at 684. We are well above it. We've got a big old gap. That is a big gap, friends. Yeah, see the volume accumulation? If you're interested, just find the box and trade the box, right? That's candle theory in one minute or less. Find the box, trade the box, and relative to trend. Okay, everybody, take care. I'm on reversal challenge today. Looking forward to seeing all of you. And you know what? Stay frosty. Be careful. These are interesting markets, but that just means we use caution. Still a lot of place to make money. Take care.